Watch that dial now, we're just getting started.
Alright, Truth Seekers is a video where I try to resolve for you the mystery of Sergeant B using information provided to me by Baron of Arizona. In private DMs, I asked him, what is WTM and who is the authority? There's a video that he had posted May 31st titled !RU. Some guy or gal who goes by the authority posted, I am a part of WTM, no one talks about B. And so I learned WTM is we the media, defined here as the Pharisee Jubilee of Anons who are usurpers and grifters. So this led to a portion of our conversation where Baron says that he was having fun circulating drops in the We the Media Telegram because he sees that Sergeant B watches him and is noting how retarded they all are. He then links me to this site. It is a collection of posts from Sergeant B from date range 4/23/20 through 4/28/20. You're already saying, come on now, get to your point. The point of this video is that Baron demonstrates to me Sergeant B appears to be a real, verifiable individual who, with some degree of probability, likely co-posted with 17 during a specific time period in April 2020 through early May. So I'll try to show you the key associated B and 17 posts, among a few others with strong implications concerning the individual I know. Then I reveal the person, allegedly, of Sergeant B. And so the key connection brought to me by Baron of Arizona is, as he puts, the drops in my site correspond to the 17 drops at the same time. Sergeant B ran his op April and May 2020 on Akun. Good luck. They posted it at the same times. That's why 17 posted 2 lanterns. So being who I am, I tried to confirm this to a certain degree. Okay, so key 17 post April 17, 2020. Ex-military here, please don't let us down. Next day you see a picture of a church steeple with the 2 lanterns. There's a good article you can find on kathycopelandpadden.medium.com, 2 lanterns changed the world. Read to you a short excerpt. His old buddy Revere asked him a huge favor. Would he be willing to risk his life by hanging signal lanterns from the steeple of the church? The answer was, of course, a no-brainer. Earlier that day, Poling and several other passionately patriotic vestrymen gave their loyalist rector the boot for preaching against their revolutionary cause. John Poling was hoping that if he was caught in a church after dark, his magnificent position would explain his presence that evening. They also enlisted the help of a man named Robert Newman, who recently had taken the job of sexton, similar to a janitor, at Christ Church. Newman was none too happy about it, but couldn't find any other work. He had not been active in the revolutionary cause up to that point, but seemed eager to help. Most importantly, he held the keys to the church. On evening April 18th, 1775, Robert Newman unlocked a door to Christ Church, allowing Captain Poling to climb the stairs to the steeple. Captain Poling reached the top of the tallest building in Boston and peered into the night. The British were embarking on the first part of their journey west by water, since Poling and Revere had agreed the signal would be 1 if by land and 2 if by water. And thus you have the reference watch the water and 2 key dates that I will relate to you in a different way, April 18th and April 17th. You have the janitor with the keys, an individual who has secret symbolic meaning to myself on multiple levels, multiple meanings. Okay, so some interesting Sergeant B posts I wanted to show you. You have this one with the down the rabbit hole imagery. No separate org, separate operators, OPs. We are aware of each other. So that's obviously between 17 and who I'll soon describe as 18, which is B. You have this post from April 27th, 2020. Austin only took, I have only given. And you have Trump with the word clowns to his left. And as you'll see, this is a post suggesting the sentiment Sergeant B has for Austin for some strange reason, which is ironic for a specific reason. At the end of this video, I will addend the very first video I made about Sergeant B, which was encoded to show a synchronicity that I had with the hex crypto that seems to more or less mirror the alleged future tip-off Austin had with Bitcoin. You have this April 27th post, which I found significant due to a date. Direction will come. Now just process, as you have more than 2 years. I'm going to dump till 5/5 as stated, trying to space it out. I can hold off if you need to dig more, but need to be done by 5/5. Will not have mill back after. So as you know, at this point in time, given the date of this post, it has been a little more than 2 years. So it'll soon be necessary for us to complete whatever was started at this time. You have this post. I worked at DIA for about 4 years. The tunnels are deep. What is that cool roof made of? Who made it? I think it's referencing this roof here in this picture. I'm deducing this is an image from the Denver International Airport, a very spooky place with numerous underground passages. You'll see why the state of Colorado is important in a bit. I've now jumped to the Google Drive file with the Sergeant B8 Kuhn logs. Post dated 4/24/20. F. Steinbart. Shield 4, and yes, as a sergeant, my orders come from above, not some future BS. Clearly stated, when my op ends, nothing to do with 17 and team. Last post that stuck out to me was this. Yes, we gave you many hints. Blunt and direct time. Learn double meanings. Double exclamation mark equals 2. Know your enemy. Know your friends. Be well read. Knowledge is power. You need to help the C, and then C will be exposed. Only when C can this happen. And here we have different meanings for C, including cattle, citizens, corruption, cooperation, etc. Then you have the use of clues versus cues. And so here is the clue I was told about B by Baron. There's a specific document you can find titled B_18_Goldstein find AL operations PDF. This document was uploaded to media.defense.gov in 2017. The same document is uploaded to a separate site called quantico.marines.mil, psychological operations Goldstein.pdf. And so yes, you have a Gov website and a MIL website referring to the same document. And wait till you see the title of this document. You have the knight, symbolic of the Trojan horse, on the title of a book called Psychological Operations, Principles and Case Studies by Goldstein and Findlay. Reading from the document, in 1984, a major effort began to revitalize the state of psychological operations in the United States. The effort was spearheaded in 1985 by a document known as DoD PSYOP Master Plan. The plan evolved over several years, and revision began again in 1990, just prior to the Persian Gulf War. The plan directed the overall revitalization of U.S. psychological operations. It directed that PSYOP be fully integrated into planning and military operations. It directed that PSYOP be considered for immediate and effective use in crises and hostilities. And it directed the use of overt PSYOP programs in peacetime. This book included a contribution of 24 authors, and there was this comment which popped out to me. We thank J. Shermer, B. Kurabach, and C. Williamson, who provided assistance to Master Sergeant Blair and Colonel Goldstein, and we are especially grateful to Major Thomas Sands, Florida, etc. So I took away from this that the book author Colonel Goldstein and Master Sergeant Blair were two individuals in close cooperation in producing this document. So you have the 17th chapter, which discusses Vietnam, and the 18th chapter called the Iraqi Propaganda Network. And in our minds, we have encoded the meaning of 17 as reference to a specific concept, and so now I have to introduce 18 as a second reference to a related concept. Turning to page 243, we get to the 18th chapter, authored by Master Sergeant Richard Blair of the U.S. Air Force Reserve Command and Colonel Frank Goldstein of the U.S. Air Force. As you know, a key element to the B posts are references to the National Reconnaissance Office. And it so turns out that this individual named Richard Blair apparently worked in the Denver area, likely still works there, and works for the National Reconnaissance Office. Specifically, he's a CI referent at National Reconnaissance Office. A military service law enforcement career spanning 26 years with 10 years counterintelligence experience and over 23 years of supervisory experience, has an exceptional record in leading, managing, and resolving complex criminal and counterintelligence investigations affecting the U.S. Air Force and DoD, other federal agencies, and the U.S. Defense Industrial Base. It goes on to say he has vast counterintelligence training and experience in collections, research, development, and acquisition, technology, protection, foreign intelligence, tradecraft, insider threats, support to force protection, offensive operations, and counterintelligence analysis. In his very extensive experience listing, however, I do not see any information with regards to the Defense Intelligence Agency, where he may have been for 4 years according to the B post. And just clarifying his military rank, the 7th enlisted grade, ranking above Technical Sergeant and below Senior Master Sergeant. It is abbreviated MSGT. Advancement to Master Sergeant is one of the most significant promotions within the enlisted Air Force and Space Force. At the rank of Master Sergeant, the airman enters a senior non-commissioned tier and transitions his or her duties from frontline technicians and supervisors to operational leaders. So he is an OP. An operational leader develops his or her leadership and management skills since this rank carries increased broad leadership, supervisory, and managerial responsibilities rather than technical performance. So a lot said in this video, but the overall implication is that Sergeant B is really Master Sergeant Blair, a named individual who you can find online. There is a alleged association in that the org Master Sergeant Blair worked for is not separate from the org of the individual posting as 17. It's possibly also implied that there aren't as many separate operators controlling the 17 board as we would like to think. But that's not conclusively proven here. So I'd like to again thank Bear in Arizona, fellow countryman in arms, another member of the grassroots effort to save our country through infiltration instead of invasion from the new British, which are the same bloodlines and occult affiliations of the old. If this is the closest I ever get to unraveling the mystery of 17, I'm grateful for seeing the journey to this end point. Really, at this stage of the situation, solving 17 does not really matter. What's more important is understanding the core psychological tactics that tends to destroy developed civilizations when they seemingly become successful, example of which would be Rome. Till next time, peace.